Maido! Hi there, Japan fans. Today's show, we're going to talk about women speakers. Preseno Master Shimasho. This is the 8th year of the Presentation Japan Series podcast. We're beaming around the world to you from sunny Minato-ku in Tokyo. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, the president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and the 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, which is Zaeigyo in Japanese, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery, or in Japanese, Anatomo Prezen no Tachijin. Plus, Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de Okane o Muru ni Suru wa Yamimashou, and all are available on Amazon. Through this podcast, I want to help you become a better speaker to be 1, clear, 2, confident, 3, persuasive, 4, highly influential with those around you. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn. Unlike many other hosting organizations, Libsyn have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on Apple Podcasts. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show podcast. Tuesday, the Presentations Japan series. And every second Tuesday, the Business Tachijin no Oshier show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcasto show. Fridays, the Japan Business Master Show podcast. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 373. Today we are talking about, should women be public speakers in Japan? I hesitated to use this title because it smacks of clickbait, doesn't it? To hell with it. Live dangerously, I say. What flagged this question for me was an article in the Financial Times by Anjli Raval about Wall Street earnings calls. She mentioned that researchers from the University of Bergen and the Sayad Business School analysed the question-answer sections of earning calls from 2,993 American-listed companies between 2010 and 2019. They were looking at a term I had never heard of before called uptalk. This is a common thing with women who sometimes end their sentences with a rising intonation. It comes across as open, friendly, and not being domineering or pushy. All good. However, it can also sound as if they are not convinced of what they are saying. That rising tone sounds like the statement is morphing into an unstated question conveying uncertainty. The research showed that whenever they use this uptalk element in their speech, male analysts made less buy recommendations when female CEOs were doing the earnings calls. The academics noted, analysts respond negatively when female executives use unexpectedly high levels of uptalk. The study showed that this did not apply when men used uptalk in the earnings calls. Raval also captures some dilemmas facing women executives when she writes, they must be vocal, but not deemed shrill. They must be confident, but not perceived as arrogant. Empathetic, but not so much that it shows weakness. They should smile and be enthusiastic to not appear threatening or hostile. Now, these words are rarely used for male counterparts. And they shouldn't complain. Whew! That is a tricky path to navigate for female executives. What about Japan? In my experience, there is definitely an expectation here about how women are supposed to speak. Television, panels, talk shows, etc. Here usually feature the woman as a charming appendage to the male. He is the expert and the center of attention. Her job is to not say much, listen intently to what he is saying, and make him look good. I should point out, though, that sounding hesitant, using uptalk style of speech is a fixture of the culture in Japan for both men and women. It is a means of sounding polite, humble, and non-aggressive. These are welcome attributes in a country which values social harmony. Having said that, I feel there is greater pressure on women here to restrain themselves in what they say, and particularly in how forcefully they say it. Find out more. We come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public courses, but we also do custom in-house programs. We do them in Japanese, we do them in English, we do them in our super safe classroom, and we do them live online. The show today is being brought to you by, on the 19th and 20th of February, we'll be having our High Impact Presentations course. On the 1st of March, we're doing a 12-week version of our Dale Carnegie course. And in April, on the 25th and 26th, we'll also do another High Impact Presentations course. Go to our website, dale-carnegie.co.jp. That's Dale, D-A-L-E, hyphen, Carnegie, C-A-R-N-E-G-I-E.co.jp. Lots and lots of value there for you. To do better in Japan, email me at greg.story, that's greg.story, S-T-O-R-Y, at dalecarnegie.com. If you like learning by watching videos, then we have over 2,300 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show in Japan, every Monday, Tokyo time. Fridays, we have the Japan Business Mastery Show, and on Sundays, we release Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders from SMEs right up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Now, every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. Get my best-selling books on business in Japan. The Bible on Selling, Japan Sales Mastery, that's Zaegyo in Japanese, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery, which is Anatomo Present no Tachijin in translation, plus Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de Okane o Mudnitsu no wa Yamimashou. And all are available on Amazon. Welcome back. Infamously, ex-Prime Minister Mori, when he headed the Japan Olympic Organizing Committee, complained about women wanting to talk too much at the meetings. That caused a huge furor. And very, very reluctantly, he resigned his position after holding on to it until the bitter end. What I think he was saying was that the women on the committee should sit there and listen to men like him and say nothing. They should be guided by the senior males in the room, so their opinions weren't required. If you need an opinion, I'll give it to you type of approach. Ex-Prime Minister Aso is also a reliable source for faux pas regarding the place of women in Japanese society. There is even a dedicated section on Wikipedia titled Controversial Statements. I wonder how many Japanese people listed in Wikipedia have such a dedicated section. In 2014, he talked about women who didn't give birth being problematic. In 2018, he said, there is no such thing as a sexual harassment charge. January 2024, he called Foreign Minister Yoko Kamikawa, age 70, an obasan, or old lady, and commented that she was not particularly beautiful. By the way, he is 83, light years distant from being handsome, and grew up with a massive array of silver spoons stuffed into his mouth. Being male, his looks don't enter into any calculations. In that same speech, he also said she was a new star and could inspire new stars to emerge in politics. Some serious mixed messaging going on there from us all. So, should women in Japan even bother with public speaking given the male dominance of business here? There are many excellent foreign female speakers here, like Helen Iwata, who is a friend and a graduate of our High Impact Presentations course. She is really skilled and teaches public speaking for women. What about skilled Japanese females? I'm sure they must be out there somewhere, and maybe I've missed them over the last 39 years living here. In reality, I don't see many female executives giving public speeches, and I'm struggling to think of someone who would be a really good role model. I quoted Raval earlier on the difficulties for women to navigate the right tone when speaking. Japan is no different, and perhaps even less open to the idea, and certainly less tolerant as well. What we see in our classes, though, is that there is no problem for women to become excellent public speakers. That, I believe, is the difference. Regardless of gender, when we get the training, we know how to navigate all the obstacles to getting our message across. What often happens, though, is women in business are left to work it out through trial and error. In companies, men get the training quota and the women don't. You need regular speaking spots to make that trial and error algorithm work. Executives in Japan just don't get to give that many speeches in a year. Also, the number of speaking spots for women here is a lot less than for men. It will take female executives a long time to work it out by themselves. I suggest women in business, actually everyone, get the training so they can speed things up, improve the process, and secure the needed outcomes. Did you get value from today's show? If you did, then share the love around with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Until the next episode, go out there and apply the learnings from today and become a presentations legend amongst your circle. Thank you for joining me, and please tune in next week. Remember, I'm in your corner, your go-to guy for soft skills training in Tokyo, committed to your success here in Nippon.